A judge in Michigan has dropped the criminal charges against 7 officials involved in the Flint water scandal. Wow. Okay, so here's the headline here. The headline is, these politicians made decisions, specific decisions, about where the water supply was going to come from. They knew when they made, and they made it because they said, well, we're reworking the main supply right now, so we're going to put you the secondary. They knew secondary was completely contaminated, not just with lead, but all types of chlorine oxide, you name it, it was in that water. Caused people to die.
Yeah, it did. Multiple people died of Legionnaire's disease. That these public officials who just had the charges dropped against them, they knew Legionnaire's was in the water. They knew it was going to kill people, and they hid that information from the public. They have documents, they have tests in their hands that are telling them people are going to die because of what you did. And they still said, well, let's hide this away so nobody knows. And then this judge, who is an elected judge.
Yeah.
I did actually came from a plaintiff's firm.
Yeah.
I was shocked by this decision,
Yeah,
but
me
she
too.
comes out and says, you know what? No harm, no foul. All charges dropped.
And her rationale was ridiculous. Okay, her rationale is ridiculous. Look, the state has a constitutional system that they use. It's a way that you bring about charges. You don't sometimes strike a 6 to 10 member grand jury. They have a system that in the right circumstances, a judge can sit as the person who reviews the facts and says, yes, there's enough here for an indictment. That's what happened here. This judge says, oh, that's horrible. It's a star chamber. Well, if it's a star chamber, they should change it. The legislature should change it in Michigan. But right now, it's a way that you can bring about an indictment. So that's what they did. And this judge says, oh, no, this is all based on a bad indictment. And all these people walk. They kill people. It's no different than manslaughter. That's what it is. It's absolutely manslaughter. And they let them walk. Nobody cares.
Yeah, and it's even worse, too, because you had the original Attorney General of Michigan, who was a Republican at the time, investigating Republicans. Before he leaves office, he says, I'm going to put people in prison. Then you had the Democrat, Dana Nessel, take over.
Oh.
Nessel fires the special prosecutor and his entire team, basically
To protect her party.
Right.
That's what she was doing.
Well, she's a Democrat
Yeah.
going after Republicans and still stands up for them. But this whole thing is a bipartisan failure.
Yeah.
Everybody protecting the powerful is what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
And people died. There are dead people here.
It wasn't just there wasn't completely polarized parties. There's a mixture of that.
Absolutely,
and Nessel
yeah.
made some decisions that were pretty close to just being pure political favor and payback.
And it's almost as if Nessel intentionally tried to sabotage the way she did with the one judge grand jury.
Right.
She knew that the other courts probably wouldn't be okay with that. She, to me, is at the heart of all of this.
Well, she
Dana
may
Nessel.
be. The truth is, there's still time to bring charges. There's still time to bring these charges. They still have a chance to do something about it. Otherwise, you're just letting people that look, it's no different from somebody drinking a fifth of Jack Daniels and driving 90 miles an hour through a school zone, okay? If they kill somebody, that's step up beyond manslaughter. This is manslaughter. And they knew exactly what they're doing, and they tried to hide it. And hundreds of people.
But back to Nessel just a moment, because I know you're going to love this. Nessel is constantly on the corporate media. She's brought out there as this hard scrabble Democratic Attorney General. She's letting people that got people killed off the hook. This is not a hero of the Democratic
not at
Party.
all.
She is absolutely as vile as they come.
Yeah, you're right. And time will tell. Will they bring other charges? Probably not. CNN wants to become more neutral, but the network might be too far gone to save itself. Where in the hell is that little Zucker guy that ruined it? I remember being in a room with, anyway, I just remember thinking, this Zucker guy started out as a producer. I mean, he did produce a couple of big shows on CNN, and all of a sudden they put him in charge of this. And then he says, my goal, he builds it around his preference.
Yeah.
Hell with the shareholders, hell with the network that's been a responsible network for so many years. And he makes it into something that's not even recognizable. I mean, pick it up from there.
Yeah, what Zucker did was he came in and he said, y'all need to start throwing out more opinions.
Yeah.
You know, get a little more fiery. He wanted that crossfire type atmosphere of yell at each other, be bombastic, you know, give your opinion on things instead of saying, look, we're a news outlet, let's talk about the news.
Right.
And the network, look, Fox News had the formula and it worked for them, and Zucker came in and said, well, what if we do that?
Right on the left.
But then you got people that really didn't stand for anything. They didn't have real opinions that anybody cared about, unlike what Fox has on the right. So it was a total flop. So they bring in new guy, Chris Licht, and Licht is, you know, getting rid of people left and right, some who absolutely should have been let go years ago.
Oh my God! I mean, look, I look at this Stelter.
Toobin should have been.
Oh, Toobin! Can you imagine fondling himself on live on the air, and they keep him around? First of all, he's really a very marginal lawyer where it comes to giving opinions. He's one of these. He's ivory tower lawyer. Yeah, he can talk about the intricacies of the Constitution, but where it comes to really everyday advice, he was awful. Brian Stelter, they should have understood immediately that this guy was on some kind of jihad that was alienating everybody that was in the middle. If it wasn't extreme left, this guy had no appeal. But that kind of became the whole Zucker plan. Zucker destroyed this network. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I looked up the other day to try to find where the hell is this little guy? I mean, is he going to move on? Are they going to somebody else going to hire him in the media to destroy their network? It's a weird situation when you get into this system that exists in, I don't even call it news anymore. It's called news entertainment. But the way it perpetuates itself until the very point of destruction. And that's what happened with CNN.
Right, and it is interesting now because you have a lot of people at the network who think, oh no, we're going to the right. And you know, people who say, oh no, it's going more to the left. The network doesn't know where it's going because they're already too late to fill either one of those niches. You've got MSNBC that's got the left, Fox and Newsmax now that have the right. CNN no longer fits in. You've got CNBC and Fox Business for the business side. CNN, even though they originated this, they got nowhere left to go.
Yeah, okay.
Who are we?
Okay, that's right. Who are we? Now, a long time ago, you and I, we used to work something called Air America. I mean, it was me and Bobby Kennedy had a show. It was Janine Garofalo. It was, anyway, a whole line. Al Franken, a whole lineup of people. And we knew then, I mean, all we were progressive. That's all we talked about was progressive. And we understood then, we saw it within a period of 2 years, that it wasn't sustainable. I mean, we would have people that would this is all they listened to. They loved it, and they loved to hear our attacks on the right. They loved to hear all of that stuff every day. But we saw that it wasn't sustainable as a business. And we stayed in business 2.5 years. But the point is to operate at the level of CNN and understand that what they were doing was not sustainable. It's like we do on this show, okay?
Yeah.
When people get mad that we move to the middle, I tell you what I've started doing. I tell our folks, get rid of them. If they don't watch the show, tell them to go somewhere else. I don't really care. I mean, do you? I mean, genuinely. I genuinely don't care because we try to call it in the middle. And you you go after the Republicans with vengeance every day. And we have one segment or 2 segments or 3 segments, 4 segments a week where we say, let's just talk about the middle. And to me, this is my attitude. If they don't like it, we don't need them. Who the hell cares? Well, that's really my attitude. They should have taken the same attitude.
Right, and that's the problem. Is part of it is CNN can't do that. CNN can't do what we do because we go after the people that are advertising on CNN.
Right.
So they've got no way to talk about these lawsuits. They can't talk about the corporate problems. They can't even really go after, the tax cuts that these corporations get because, okay, well, now that we've said that, let's go now to Monsanto for our ads.
Full disclosure, I don't really care anymore. I really don't. That should have been the attitude that CNN took. But instead, they catered to that crazy, crazy fringe. And it put them out of business. Will they make a comeback?
I don't see how they can because there's no place ideologically left for them to fit. If they wanted to be a straight news network, well, The country doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
We need a straight news network.
Yeah.
But people
Well,
want.
I tell you this, I say it on the show all the time. I think you're the best, and I don't mean this just because you and I have known each other for 25 years. I think you're the best progressive commentator in the business. I really do believe that. But you still understand that we still have to do stories that move to the middle, and we call balls and strikes.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope you have the same attitude I have. My attitude is if they can't take it, go to HuffPost. Go to some of the other fringe sites that all they do is talk left. That's just not us. And I just think they could have stayed in business if somebody would have said, Zucker, you idiot, look at what you're doing to us. You're collecting nothing but crazy fringe. And you know what? When times change, you're going to be out of business.